Hey guys, welcome to the replay. If you're watching on replay, thanks everyone for joining. Hey Jess. Hey guys, hey Susie, Amy, Mary. What's up, what's up? I'm going to turn this around so you're not looking at those flowers. Hi. Awesome. Hey Meredith. Yeah, so if you guys, when you comment in the post and you're wishing me hello or telling me where you're watching from, put a dash and then your name so that I can actually welcome you as a person and not your weird handle. Hey, Lori. Awesome. So while you guys are introducing yourselves, I want to introduce myself. So I'm Lindsay Gramont, the Homemade Mommy, and you can find all of my blogs and recipes at homemademommy.net. I'm also a Crown Diamond with Young Living, so I do scope about network marketing inspiration, but really it's more about personal development than anything else. So if you're with another company, feel free to listen. Tonight's scope is not about oils in any way, but it will help you to understand how to get unstuck in life. So, welcome everyone, Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, Rachel from Virginia. Hey, Katie from Ohio. Awesome, thank you. I appreciate that. So if you're new to my scopes, please type in the word new, and we'll just get some housekeeping out of the way. You can tap on the screen for hearts. Hearts are awesome because they keep me going, so thank you. And if you want to follow me, if you're new, awesome. Hey, Meredith. If you are new, you can actually click right down here on the number right now, or if you're watching the replay, you can swipe from left to right and you'll start to see the headline for the scope, and you can just scroll up a little bit and click on the little plus sign next to my profile to follow me. Or you can actually click to share with your followers, and sharing with them shows that you trust what I'm saying and you trust it enough to share with some folks, and you know what's coming is going to be awesome, because it is. So, not always, but it actually took me a little while to click start broadcast on this one, because there's just some neat things I want to say, and I want to get my thoughts together. And of course, I don't write them down on a piece of paper because I can't even read my own handwriting. I want to type it up, but I can't look at my typed notes from Evernote on my phone while I'm talking to you guys. So I should have gotten my iPad in here. So who out there is feeling a little bit stuck in life? You feel like you're reacting to folks. You're not really in control of what's happening to you right now. And you feel stressed, you feel busy, you feel tired, you feel stuck. And you can't get folks to do what you want them to do, and you feel like you're wrapped up in that. And yes, a little you, me. Okay, so sometimes yes, yeah. So, a lot of times our kiddos are just about to maybe go back to school. We coming on the end of a big, long summer here, and some of you mamas might be going a little stir crazy and feeling some overwhelm. Some of you out there who maybe aren't mamas, who are daddies, or maybe just single or whatever, might just be feeling like you're not quite sure what you need to be doing. And I just want to talk about that tonight. So I have some lessons that I have learned in life from my mom. So fortunately, my mother was not a helicopter mom. Neither of my parents were. And they taught me a lot of things about how to motivate people without really knowing it. So I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, because I've had a lot of folks also cross-line to me. A lot of you guys reach out to me. So I talk to a lot of people every day, being a Crown Diamond, a lot, and cross-line folks, downline folks, but just, people talking about, well, how do I motivate people? How do I get people to have classes? How do I get people to my classes? How do I, right? And I've been thinking and processing this, and I just want to share a few nuggets that I learned from my mom that hopefully will get you to get to the core of the issue, because it's not about how to get people to classes. It's really not about how to get people to host classes. And it's really not about the $50 that you're going to get. for enrolling someone or whatever company you're in. It's not about, what you're going to get from that person when they enroll or what you can tell other people that they're going to get, okay? So you're going to hear me say that a few times in this. It's not about the $50. Those with Young Living know exactly what I'm talking about. Do you guys know? Give me a thumbs up if you hear what I'm saying. So, lessons from my mom. So first step, you can't make anyone do anything. So my sister growing up was not a morning person at all. I'd get right up. I'd want to be around my mother and I would want to get going. But my sister was not a morning person. So and every time my mom would go in to wake her up, she'd want to wake her up nicely and tap her on the back, and she'd rub her back, and my sister would just growl at her. Any of you guys not morning people, she would just growl at my mom and be so rude in the morning. So if you or your husband or your kids or you whatever are like this, and you know what I'm talking about, right? And so my sister was like getting to be where she was going to be late for school. And this was, maybe tween years. She's old enough to like start to be more responsible. At least my mom thought so, and she was right. So my mom said one day, here's an alarm clock, and, set your alarm and you get up on your own because I'm not going to wake you up anymore. And if you're late to school, then that's your own problem. Okay? So she put the responsibility on my sister. And that changed. I mean, when I heard that, it was like, that made so much sense to me. Like, you can't, there was no way she was going to change my sister, but she could help her to help herself. And it works. Yes, totally. So that's the first thing. So you can't, so what's the lesson from that? You can't make other people do things that you want them to do. You have to give them the tools, and then you got to just let them fail or succeed on their own. So that's the first thing, and I'll build up to this final lesson in a minute here that relates to all of these together. The second thing is that, let me think of the second thing. So the first thing was that you can't enable someone. The other thing is you can't change people. They have to do it for themselves, correct? The other thing is not to fall into the trap of not setting boundaries for yourself. So as you grow and develop yourself, so I think Christy Collins said the other day that doing any kind of network marketing business is going to be better therapy than you could ever get from a therapist, and it's going to happen a lot faster because you can only grow as much as you grow. Your business can only grow as much as you can grow. So if you are stuck and I'm not even reading these. I'm just working from memory here. So if you are not growing, then your business is not growing. So if you ever feel like you're stuck, you've got to go out and work on yourself. So one of the things here is that boundaries are going to protect you. Now, I don't mean protect you in a way that is going to limit your relationships, but you can't get sucked into someone else's blame, and you can't get sucked into someone else's insecurities. So if they're struggling and having a really hard time, you can help them, but you shouldn't get sucked down with them because that is going to hurt you a lot, okay? Because most people will find it easier to blame than to grow. And I have seen this so many times and learned this so many times with my mother. So my whole entire life, she was in real estate. She sold real estate, and she dealt with crazy people all the time. Some very nice people, but also some really just cuckoo people. And I mean, I can't even imagine like all of the lessons she taught me in explaining how she dealt with people. And she had these amazing relationships over all these many years and told me all of these stories, and it just helped so much because she just always said you cannot get sucked into people's vortexes. You have to know your own heart, and you have to know when people put blame on you for their own insecurities that it's not about you. and that you have to keep on going. And most of the time, it's coming from jealousy or competitiveness or feelings of being unworthy, and they're just going to point the finger right at you, okay? And you can't, you've got to create boundaries from that. The other place you've got to create boundaries is around people who feel entitled. People who feel like if they don't get from you, then they won't succeed. If you aren't doing it for them, then they won't succeed. So you can't be enabling people who feel entitled either. You have to cut those people off. And when they learn that that's not the way to behave, then you'll play with them. Okay? So I know that a lot of these things might sound kind of harsh, but they're really good lessons to learn. So so what we said here? We said you can't get people to do what you want them to do. They have to do it on their own. So they have to have their own responsibility. They have to feel that they are part of their own success, that you aren't the person that is giving them their success. And they need to understand that you aren't going to get sucked in to their blame and to their insecurities. Okay? Totally hitting the mark here? Yes. A lot of women out there just want to suck you down. I don't know why, but they want you to feel as unworthy as they do. But you're not. You're not unworthy, okay? Because you are rising above it. And the way that you rise above it is that you just do what you need to do and trust the process and trust that there will be a person that will appear that will not be toxic and will want to rise up above it all with you. And you have to trust that. You have to trust the process. And I didn't enable anyone below me. I focused on the willing. And if you are looking right now at your whole set of members of people that you are trying to help, and you're trying to help them not only with the products that they use, but maybe with their business, but it could be you're just trying to help them live a healthier life, and you can't get them to do that. So I'm not just talking about people, hosting a class for you or something. This is about people you are trying to help get well, and to people you are trying to help maybe get well and abundant, right, in their lives. So you cannot enable them. If you do, then they're not going to be motivated by themselves. They're going to be motivated by you, which is a really scary place to be. Because if you are the person that is motivating someone, then that's scary. Because what happens if you get in a funk? What happens if you aren't feeling very inspiring at the moment and you kind of check out to lunch? What happens if you just don't, I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. Like, you can't be this person's source of success and happiness. They need to figure out they need to figure out what motivates them. So the best thing that you can do with people like this is to lead out front and talk about your why for doing this, your passion, and keep talking about it. Talking about the things that the reasons why you do this, and to help them find their why, because that's going to help the most. I just want to make one last point, and then I'll wrap this all up together, is that the last thing I learned from my mom. So the first thing was you can't get people to do things for you. The second thing is to set boundaries and to not fall into the trap of blame and a victim consciousness. The third is that when you make excuses to yourself and to other people, then that's very immature. So she taught, oh, my mom's here. Yay. See, she's watching. It's none of my business what other people think of me. See, you needed to show up just to remind me exactly what you said. There's my mom. So she's going to call me after this and be crying. So it's none of my business what other people think of me. Yes. So she has these great little truisms. So it's none of my business what any of y'all think of me. I don't need your hearts or your comments to know that I am loved, because I know that I am loved. By myself, by my mom, by my husband, by God, whatever you need to go to. If it's just God right now, you don't have anyone else that you feel like loves you, then just go there. But it's none of your business what other people think of you. And so that's how you can create these boundaries around what other people say about you or whatever, because they're going to point the blame because because their business is stuck, because they want to quit, whatever, right? All you got to do is keep doing what you're doing and they will come back. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Okay, the third thing is no excuses to anybody because it makes you seem young and immature. And the reason why is because nobody cares that you need to go with your kids right now. Nobody cares that you're busy. Nobody cares that you need to whatever, okay? That you have this, the, whatever. I got my soccer classes. I got too many things. Nobody cares. When you are going to meet with somebody or you are trying to meet with somebody to develop a relationship with that person, you just need to say, I'm happy to meet with you at this time. I am booked at the other time you suggested. Are you guys hearing me? I am booked at the other time you suggested, but I can meet at this time instead. And that's it. Or, I can do this right now. I can do this at these times, and the other times I am busy. And they don't need to know why you're busy. They don't need to know your excuse of why you can't do something or what you can or can't do. And they don't need to know. They really don't need to know what your business is. They don't need to know. And this is how you can make time for your children and for your husband and never have to feel guilty about it, ever, to anybody. Because it doesn't matter if your kids are important, if kids are important to everybody. When someone wants to meet with you and they want your time, they're going to try whatever they can to get it. And they are going to keep you from having dinner with your kids. They're going to keep you from, being at the playground with your kids. They're going to keep you from doing that. But if you just say, I'm busy at that time, they don't know what you're doing. You could be at a doctor's appointment. You could be meeting with somebody else. You could be working. They don't know. It doesn't matter. Do they need to know? No. So, yeah. So, they don't need to know. So that's all you got to do there. Simple, right? I mean, you just say, I'm doing something else right then, but can we meet at this time? Now, when you take on this kind of behavior, you are showing everybody that you are a healthy, strong, confident person because you are trusting them to know that you are a strong, confident person. You are not desperate, that you do not need them to be happy and successful, that you do not need them to love you or not like you, that you do not need them to tell you that you're great or not, that your success is not dependent on them. And as soon as that happens, then they realize that's how I got to be too. And then they turn into a different person because they realize you have boundaries. So I just think this is so huge in our business and network marketing because if you are stuck, it is because you're not duplicating. And if you're not duplicating, it's because you're doing one of the things I'm talking about. You're enabling someone, you're getting sucked into their drama. You are conveying that you're too busy for them and naming all the excuses why, and so they're going to name excuses too. And you are not really taking ownership of your own life and taking responsibility for your own success. If you are also talking about how terrible your upline is or your sponsor, then they're just going to do the same because everybody's going to do exactly what you're doing. So all of these things combined are what are going to make you duplicable. So they help you to focus on the willing. So I want all of you, if you look at your entire organization right now and you're looking at all the zeros, which is what a lot of people have said to do this summer, and I kind of dabbled a little bit in this, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it, and I'm going to explain now why. I did a little bit of it, but not too much, because if you focus on all those zeros, then you're focusing on the wrong thing. Yes, you can call them and spend some time on it, but I actually think that's wrong. You got to focus on the willing. That's where you should be putting your energy. If you've got 2 or 4 people that are really excited and really doing something, focus on them. They're the healthy people. They're the people who are getting it. They're the people who are with you. And they are the people that are going to help you focus on the positive. And they are the people that are going to excite you and inspire you every day. They are where you're going to draw such amazing energy from. And so just focus on those 2 people. And then all the rest of the people that are all in their drama and like confused and not sure what to do and everything are going to be like, wow, those 3 people are really running out front. I want to do that. I want that. And they're going to follow. And so, when you are trying to pull, if you're trying to pull somebody up the hill, then you're just you're going to get pulled down with them. But if you are like running out front and all these people are like running up following you, and like sometimes you have to give them a little nudge and then you just like go up front again and you're running again, then you're going to like see some amazing things happen. So focus on the willing, trust the process. Don't give people excuses because then they're just going to give you excuses, and give them their own alarm clock. Give them their own alarm clock and let them do their own classes. You know, you do your classes, and if you have a big local team and they're not doing classes, then, you know, you're doing one of these things. You're focusing on the people dragging you down. Focus on the 2 awesome people. You probably have 2 awesome people. Do you guys have 2 awesome people? Comment below if you have 2 awesome people. Comment with the number 2. Comment below if you have 3 awesome people. Comment below if you have 4 awesome people. Those are the people you need to focus on. Keep them awesome. Yes, keep them awesome. And I know if you're trying to go for like, you know, with Young Living, and every business has some kind of compensation plan, and you might need a certain number of legs and all these kinds of things. But I would say get the volume under the where the willing are. Get the volume where the willing are, and then you can kind of learn and grow from doing that, and then start to grow your other legs. So if you're working on 6, people, great. But even if that person, that awesome person, one of your 2 people, like is like way deep somewhere, like maybe a few levels below you, still focus on them. I've got some amazing people, and so this past year, I picked out like it was originally supposed to be 6 people. It ended up being 11. I'm very blessed. I have some really amazing people. But I was like, I'm going to travel to each of these places. And I made a goal to go to each of these places. And I'm still reaching all of them. But I have been to most of them now. And it's unbelievable. You need to know who these people are. If you are not in the same city with some of your amazing people, go visit them. You will not even believe what this will do for you. So I didn't spend my time calling all the zeros. I spent my time focusing on the willing, and that's how I'm a Crown Diamond today. And I think that all of this distilled down is going to help you guys a lot to duplicate and to not be stuck. So you know what the color of the carpet is. Exactly, Kimberly. Know the color of their carpet. Those 2, 3, 4, 5, however many people you have, you need to know the color of their carpet. You need to know their family. You should stay in their home with them. And you should really get to know them, because those are the relationships that you need to foster and develop. And those are the people that you need to get over the hump. So yes, Young Living, yes, lots of traveling. And remember, hustle doesn't mean that everything falls by the wayside. And all of you moms out there who are having that mom guilt, thinking right now, how am I going to travel to those people? Remember, don't focus on everyone. Focus on 2. Can you travel to 2 people through October? It's August right now. If you contacted those 2 people and said, I want to come visit you in October, let's set up a 201 event and a business builder dinner, amazing things will happen. If you do it right now, then they will be so excited and will be so happy to work with you through October that it will launch them to amazing success through the rest of this year, that you won't even know what happened. So stop calling the zeros. I mean, all the other people out there who've been saying to focus on care calls are going to hate me right now, but haters going to hate. I really had to distill down what it's been helping me. Yes, so working on a class with an eager builder on a family trip. Yes, exactly. Eager beavers, focus on them. Do I have work hours? So now let's open it up for Q&A. We're going to do some Q&A now. Again, if you want to follow me, if you're new here, you can click right down here and swipe from left to right or from bottom to top, all those good things, and click on the plus sign. And let's do a Q&A now. So what was that question again? Poof, went out of my head. You have care call tons of zeros. And they're nice. Okay, look, I'm not saying don't do care calls. I'm going a little bit all the way there to make a point. Yes, you got to do a few care calls, but don't, I feel like they drag us down, right? Sometimes, because if you call, I text 50 people in a day, I might connect with 3. Now, if I were to focus on the 3, which I do, but I'm encouraging you guys to do this, the 3 that I connected with, I had amazing conversations with, and I found 2 new, excited people who were wanting to share, and I can help mentor them now. So if I focused on all the people that didn't call me back, or that didn't text me back, or that were rude to me on the phone, then I wouldn't be here right now. So yeah, exactly. Okay, so questions, everyone. Thank you, Amy. Waiting for the questions. Okay, that person asked if you have work hours. Thank you. It went right in one ear and out the other. I do have some work hours sometimes, but it's more about what I choose to prioritize. So again, my priorities are based on people who are healthy, positive, confident. I help people get there by being that way. And so when I focus on those kind of people, then it doesn't really feel like work to me. So I tend to do a lot of that. I am going to Danny Johnson's First Steps to Success is it a week and a half, Kimberly? We're going to San Antonio. How many of you guys are going there? I love Danny Johnson, and she has this product, Time Secrets, and I'm working really hard on that. So I am trying to grow, just like all of you guys are trying to grow as a person. I'm not necessarily trying to grow my rank. It's more about me personally developing. But her Time Secrets has been amazing, but I have to hear this a lot. And I think a lot of us have to hear these things a lot in order for it to really stick. I do. You are? Yay! Oh, no, that's Kimberly. No one else is going? Heather? Oh, yay! Oh, I didn't see Heather's comment. Okay, good. So we have, I know Heather. So yay. So we've got some folks going. If you ever see one of her events, she's amazing and I think really good at focusing on healthy relationships and really prioritizing and focusing on designing your life and how you want it to be. And that means if you are able to do that, it's because you are confident in all these things we're talking about. You set boundaries, you are healthy, and you are not going to get sucked down by other people's blame and insecurities and become a victim. Okay, other questions from anyone? Or have I just shocked everybody into like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this information? What do you think about giving out samples? Yeah, I mean, give out samples. That's part of sharing. So yeah, agreed. What are my thoughts on strategic placement? I've been designing for a few days, so much less frantic. So strategic placement, total shock. Oh my goodness. Strategic placement, I basically think that you should be I recommend to my builders to go for the Rising Star bonus with Young Living. I don't think you should put all your eggs in 2 baskets to go for silver. I think that it's really amazing to see people develop at your front line in different ways. And so I think focusing to get people loving their products and on essential rewards at 100 PV every month based on how the Rising Star bonus is structured is truly the best way to create an amazing foundation for you to take you way beyond. All my folks who focused on Rising Star hit silver and then like 2 months later hit gold. So they weren't like starting from scratch. And now they also have platinum legs and they have diamond legs. You know, those legs are growing more slowly, but there is something there. There is a leg there. There is a person there that is, using the products and excited and, that explains the comp plan the best. Young Living has some great videos on the comp plan actually on their Vimeo page. But it's pretty simple. Rising Star, get folks that you love and are wanting to help them be well. And how do you help them be well? You get them on Essential Rewards. Why? Because if they're on Essential Rewards, they're using our products. If people feel like they can't find a product to use and they're not using their kit, then you're not helping them. They're just, or they don't want to be helped yet. But that's the goal. So, Jihan has a great comp plan video. I haven't seen that one. Yes, thank you, Susie. So, so in terms of strategic placement, I will say that you can't resent people. You have to get out of the resentment mindset. How many of you guys have a leg that's not growing and you feel like you just want to blame them? That is, again, the blaming Game is, again, it's not about the blame and not about the resentment. You want to raise people up. And so think of that person that's at the top of that leg that maybe they aren't there yet. People rise to leadership at different times. And so you have to move past that resentment. They are going to get there whenever they get there. Focus on the people under them. Help raise them up and see it as a blessing for them eventually. That will help them to grow as their worry is unburdened. If they are unburdened from their worry about money because you bless them by placing some people under there that are going to help them, then they might change as a person. They might grow eventually, but it might take them a lot longer than you to grow. So you got to be patient with that. Yay. Okay. Yes, Jake Dempsey has a new book, Driven. That's great. Good advice there for learning about the comp plan. Do you need to have a business builder at the top of each of your legs? No, you don't. You just need to have somebody who is somewhere in that leg is spending 100 PV. So if you enrolled Janie and then Janie enrolled Amy and Janie never orders again, but Amy becomes, somebody who is ordering every month at 100 PV, then that would qualify that leg for you. It wouldn't qualify you for a Rising Star share because I think that needs to be at your front line, but it would qualify you for a silver leg or gold leg or anything at Young Living. So apologies to all the folks in here who are not watching about Young Living because now we're getting real specific here. If there aren't any more questions, then I'll go ahead and close it out. Can you guys list to me your points again of what you learned? So number one, what was number one? Give that person the alarm clock. They need to have responsibility for their own success or failures, to create boundaries, and that it doesn't matter. It's none of my business what other people think of me. And you also need to have no excuses to anybody because that duplicates. Let them own it, exactly. And no excuses. And it's none of my business what other people think of me. And yeah, stop enabling your kids. Exactly. I wanted to call this like helicopter, because like helicopter parenting, but yes. Okay, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that this was helpful. If it was, then please share it, and you can always catch all of my replays forever and ever amen on catch.me/hmademommy. Again, that's catch.me/hmademommy. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.